Hi, everyone watching on replay. So it's Happy Hustle Show. Normally, this goes out on a Monday tea time, early evening, and same on a Thursday. But today, I have got a friend's coming around later to do some drilling and electrical work and stuff. So I just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss the show today. So I'm just doing it before the kids come back from school, and there's a lot of noise in the background. So most people, I will assume, would be watching on catch up. So if you are watching on replay, hi. Apologies for not having any shows last week. Last week was the Happy Side Hustle Idea Challenge week that I do once every few months, sort of once every 8 weeks at the moment. It was just brilliant. It was just, so brilliant. The people that came to the challenge were just exactly the sort of people that I love working with. And it made me think, hi, Jane. Hi, Kerry. Oh, thanks for coming to join me. It's totally random, 3:00 in the afternoon. It isn't usually at this time, but I won't be able to do it later, and I didn't want to miss. I commit to doing a show every Monday and Thursday when it's not challenge week, so you know. And today I want to talk about how you show up. So a funny thing happened this morning. Oh, hi, Kirstine. Oh, I miss you all. Oh, it's so nice that you've come to hang out with me again. A funny thing happened this morning. So I had to collect my son from school and take him to the orthodontist. So he went to school first. His orthodontist appointment was like 11:20, so I had to go and get him from school. And even though, like, he's 16, but his school still won't just let him go to the orthodontist on his own, or just leave school on his own. Anyway, so he came out of school and I said, how was this morning? Monday morning. He's not a morning child. And he said to me, it was fine. He said, we had double maths this morning, so it's quite like a hi, Tina. Hi, Tina. Quite a kind of intense start to the week. He doesn't mind maths, but I think it's just he's tired. And anyway, he came out of school a little bit deflated. And the orthodontist appointment was quite quick. So after it, he said to me, are we going straight back to school, or, maybe just pop and get some lunch or something? No, we're going straight back to school. So it's like, okay, right, okay. So we're driving back round to where his school is, and opposite his school, there's a big sort of public park. And there were hi, Suzanne. Oh, yay, thanks for joining me. There were lots of people in this park, really randomly at 11:45 on a Monday. And I said to him, I wonder what's going on there. And he's like, I don't know. He's all about it. I don't know. Anyway, we pull up outside the school, and the head teacher is at the front of the school in a yellow jacket with the clipboard. So Finn sees this, clocks this, looks back at the park and realizes the whole school are out on a fire drill. And he sees his mates and his brother right through the hedge. And he's like, oh, it's a fire drill, Mum. All the school are out. Right, brilliant. Anyway, I've got to go. Right, I'll just grab my bag. Right. On you go, Mum, on you go. And he just completely changed how he showed up, because that wasn't how he was intending to return to school. He just completely changed like that because he was really excited because there was a fire. I assume it was a drill. But anyway, they were all outside. There was something to do with the fire alarm. And it was just such a great reminder of how easily you can just flip, and you choose to do that. So he was very, I talk about this all the time. You would expect that my sons would know how to do this, but they don't always fit like that. So he was just very he was just he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. But the second he saw something that looked quite exciting to him, he was going over there, even walking differently. So when you choose how to show up, it affects your physiology, but most of all, it affects your energy. And when he is going across into that park and looking for his friends and trying to find out what's happened and whatever, there's a there was a buzz about that park. All those kids were like quite excited that they were all like, it wasn't raining, they were all in the park. They should have been doing lessons. I remember it myself. It was quite an adventure when the fireball went off at school. So it just reminded me how easy it is to change how you show up. So change the impact that you have on the people around you and change your experience of life. And you just change it by reframing a situation. So you change it by going, okay, this is what is in front of me today. How can I find the joy in that? How can I be super grateful for whatever that thing is? And I think we had a really brilliant reminder of that when we were all on like total lockdown. And everything was taken away, everything you took for granted. And, it still is. You still can't hug your friends. And, you can't just arrange to go out with, in Scotland anyway, you can't arrange to go out with like a group of 5 or 6 friends. Like, we're not allowed to do that. Hi, Margaret. So it just, everything that you took, you can't just jump on a plane and go somewhere without really carefully thinking about the implications of that. Everything that used to be normal was completely reset in lockdown for all of us, for the world. And of course, coronavirus is awful. And, 2020 is not a year that many people will look back on and say, well, that was a really positive experience. But there are positives. There are always positives. And the fact that it has brought people back to what's important, which are their rocks. So for any of you that were on the challenge last week and stuck with me right through the marathon live on the Friday night, which I did not mean to be 2 3/4 hours, but it was. But heard me talking about the rocks. And so your rocks are your family, which became super important in lockdown, your health, which became super important in lockdown, and that other thing that lights you up. And if you were able to do that in lockdown, so if it is crafting, there's a lot of people in here that have kind of crafting as their passion and potential side hustle. If you can craft, you can get all your crafting supplies and you're in lockdown with your family and you have your health, all of a sudden that's all that matters. And that's a very different experience from anyone that doesn't have one of those 3 things. And just choosing how you show up, how you view situations, and and you don't even then need to consciously manage your energy, but your energy changes. So when you choose to view something positively, like the fire alarm's gone off, the energy that you bring to the situation. So when my son's running across the road, an empty road, to see his friends and see, he saw his brother through the hedge, and that he was buzzing. Like, I mean, that is a word people use to describe it, isn't it? That's like his energy was so high vibe because he was so excited about going across to find out what was going on and see his friends, and it looked like they weren't going to be doing any work, and that was all very exciting. But you can choose that in many situations. There are so many relatively mundane situations where you can choose to see the joy. And when you do, you vibrate high, which then ripples out to the people around you. So you help to bring their vibration up and their experience of the world up. And it's all down to choice. And it's as easy as choosing. However, you will have developed a habit over the years where you possibly don't make the joyful choice all the time. But any habit, you weren't born with a habit. Any habit has just been developed. And therefore, with practice and awareness, you can develop a new habit. So they say it takes around 21 times to form a new habit. If you think about a situation that you have that where you have to go somewhere regularly or do something regularly that doesn't really make you feel great, if you really try and focus on, okay, what are the positives about this? What is good about this? And stop thinking about the negatives, and they might still be there, but when you start focusing on, okay, what is this bringing me? Why is this useful? What are the advantages of this situation? It raises your vibration, it raises your energy, and you're more likely then to have a positive experience because you have consciously chosen that. And then also that experience, or sorry, that energy ripples out to the people around you. So they're more likely to have a positive experience. Like, it's just the secret to world peace. If everybody really got into the habit of choosing joy, then you positively impact your family, your friends, everybody around you, and you show people how to do that. And it's not about not rubbish things not happening to you, because they will, and rubbish things will go on in the world and they'll go on in your life and they will impact you. But there's always that point where you've got a choice to go, okay, that thing has happened. And I don't mean put on a smiley face and never let anything bother you. Life is about experiencing the gamut of emotions. But once you have experienced whatever it is, so if it's grief or sorrow or anger or, whatever the emotion is, there comes a point where you go, okay, that wasn't great, but let's draw a line under that now, because an adequate amount of time has passed, and there's no right answer as to what that amount of time is. And let's look at, what were the positives? What have I learned from that? How can I kind of take that forward and reframe it so my life is a series of adventures and learnings, as opposed to a series of misfortunes and disappointments. And when you see your life as a series of adventures and learnings, it gives you the momentum to keep going forward, keep experiencing, keep pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, keep embracing the adventure that life is. And each time it doesn't work out for you, it's a learning, and you move forward to the next step. By choosing how you show up, by choosing to treat life as an adventure and looking for the joy in everything, you not only manage your own joy and life experience of life, but you positively impact all of those around you. Imagine you've got the key to changing the joy levels of the people that you love, of your family. They can't help it. It can't help but ripple out. And then you're attracted to be with people that are like you. And when you start, so when you're the one person that's doing that, it is more challenging. It's totally possible, but it is more challenging. As soon as you find a group of people that have this kind of like-mindedness, then you really buzz off that, and you can go and you can get your energy from that group. And then you can go back out into your family or your day job situation or whatever with that happiness and joy kind of stored up in you. So when you go out and you have those interactions with other people, you have that really positive influence on them. It can be difficult to just choose to be joyful on your own, but that's why the Happy Hustle community is such an incredible place. Last week, I know a lot of you who have tuned in here were in the challenge last week, and I assume you'll agree, if you've chosen to still tune in to me on Monday, I assume you'll agree that the bunch of women that came together last week, there was something just so magical, like incredibly supportive, action taking, like just women that really wanted to lift each other up and really wanted to be in that joyful space and really want to help each other to get to that joyful space. And the amount of messages I've had over the weekend, and some of the messages have come from some of the people that are on here today. It just means so much to me, and I just want to do that challenge week over and over and over again, because the buzz from 500 people doing that is just incredible, and I can't wait. And I know some of you have chosen to join the Happy Hustle Hive, and that's absolutely fantastic, and we've got a lot more of that coming up. But the truth is, the people in the Happy Hustle Hive don't need me as much as the people in the challenge. Like, it's not an every night situation. And when I got to Friday night, my husband said to me, "Oh, that you must be quite glad that that's over, because it is very time intense, and energy intense to run that week." I just feel so sad that it's over. I just want to do it all the time. Anyway, the point I want to make, I try and keep these Happy Hustle shows to about 15, 20 minutes so that they are able to catch up on. If you've not tuned into one before, they are on the Facebook page that you're probably watching this on. Also, I've got a YouTube channel, which is called The Happy Hustle Show, and all of the episodes are on here. I think this is episode 15. So, and they're all only about 15 minutes. So it's not like saying, catch up on my 2-hour ramblings. They're quite concise, and they all have a key learning. Well, that's the challenge anyway. So let me just see what the comments are. So Jane, change how you show up, and that's really good advice, particularly my new main job as an auditor. Everybody loves the auditor showing up, Jane. But imagine, like, and I'm sure you are, imagine the auditor comes in and the auditor is the most positive person in the room, like where you have a physical audit. Like that just would go against the stereotype, wouldn't it? But it would just be so, the whole point of an audit really is to try and help, isn't it? It's to try and kind of point out any inconsistencies and make sure that they don't turn into, any long-term issues. So I've got a friend who works in risk. She used to be an auditor, and she's like, "Oh, everybody hates us," but actually she's really positive and strategic. I'm sure you are as well. Hi everybody. Oh, lovely Debbie. Yeah, Tina, it is simple, and that's how I like to communicate things. I was in academia for quite a while, and when I was doing my dissertation for my master's and stuff, I guess I've really become in tune with myself very recently, and I don't like overcomplicating things. I don't like loads and loads of theory and big words, and I don't know. I just think life, when it boils down to it, is pretty simple, and we haven't all got the simple things of pat that we need to go kind of really higher level. But yeah, I know some of the things I think, yeah, that's pretty obvious, but actually I need a reminder of it myself, and that's why I end up having these conversations. Yeah, the happy side hustlers are a right bunch of beautiful people, Debbie. That's so right. And so I know some of you are in the Hive, and I'm so grateful for that, and I cannot wait to work with you closely. But for the rest of you that are in the Happy Side Hustlers free group, please stay in there, because the only people that drop in there are people like you. There are plenty of people come across me on the internet and go, "No, that's not for me." That's absolutely fine. Like, I totally get it. I'm not for everybody. But the people that I am for, and the people that are attracted, are the people that end up in the Happy Side Hustlers group. So when you need to recharge your energy, it's such a brilliant place to go in, and you can ask any questions in there, and it's just, I love watching it. It's incredible. Someone will put a question in, and I'll think, oh, I must check back and see if anybody's answered that, and I'll go back an hour later, and there'll be like 15 supportive, lovely replies. So yeah, it's just Alana, you have the advice. The reason that you're back, you're gonna okay, go and change that nappy, Alana. Back for your daily Julie fix. Thanks, Sue. You're going from being the person company being audited to the actual auditor. It's a great job, Jane. My friend absolutely loved it. She did it. She's she works in risk, and I don't think she actually audits anymore. I think it's more, I don't know. In fact, I don't really know, but I know she loves the job, and she loved it when she was actually out. We used to work in banks together, so she went out and audited the branches. Okay, so it's 19 minutes. I promise that these won't go over 20, so I'm going to finish it here. So just so you know, for future, if you got a ping notification from me to say it's going live, you'll get another wee follow-up message probably in about 5 minutes, and it'll say if you want to be notified for the next one. You have to just click that every time now. It's how Facebook have changed it to make sure that I'm not spamming anybody, which is totally understandable. But also you can click to get notified when I go live on this Facebook page, which is where I always do the show, as well as YouTube. So you get a notification from Facebook directly itself. But just so you know, it's pretty much always Mondays and Thursdays. It's usually later than this. I explained right at the beginning, but I've got some work going on in the house later, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it, and I wanted to show up. But I'll be back on Thursday night, and it's usually around 6:15, something like that on a Thursday, because then I go and hang about in the hive at 7. So I usually work it backwards from that. On Monday, usually around the same time. So that's when you can catch me. Go and have a fabulous week, everybody. And if you would like to see me back here on Thursday, great. And if not, have a great rest of the week. Okay, take care, everybody. Bye.